Hello, this is National Chess Master Rats. I'm giving a simul at chess.com. I don't know how many games I have going. Waiting maybe for a couple more to start. Again, I open up with this King's Indian attack. It's a simple system to learn. The first 10 moves are set pretty much, although you have to watch a couple times to make sure you don't make an error. I like to bring the dark squared bishop out to g5 and trade it off, make black spend a tempo with h6 and trade it. It just gets in the way. There'll be one or two games you'll see that are already started where the bishop is sitting at the back on c1 and will get into play much later. And the knights are just as good as bishops in this opening I've discovered. And here's my first 11 moves, and now I'm on my thinking time. He's played b5, so he's planning to play b4, which will be fine. That'll give me a c4 square for my knight. So a lot of times I have to do some remaneuvering here, and I just kind of play by instinct. Now's a good time to play rook e1. Okay, here I've been challenged with f5. I haven't run into that plan before. If I take, the bishop will go to f5, and there's some pressure on d3, and then I can come to c5 and pressure it. If there's massive trades on e4, fe, de, fe, knight takes e4. The question is black trying to push f4? That is the question. I don't necessarily like opening up lines for my opponent's pieces. In other words, like, let's see, what I'm trying to say is, if I take on f5, I've opened up this diagonal. Now, one thing to do is, but I've also stopped the f4 break. Do I care about the f4 break? Well, I've always said let the attacks come. They can be dealt with. Let's see. If I take on d5, cd, don't really. I mean, I want to get the e4 square if black's going to push f4, and I don't quite see how to do it. I got Carly taking her time here, told her to take her time. Since the bishop pawn's gone to f5, this might be a position where I can play h3 and invite this bishop to take me here. Bishop takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Black has an isolated pawn. Since this is a position where the bishop can't retreat on this diagonal, and technically I could maybe snatch that f5 pawn. I'm thinking that what black's trying to do is castle queenside and attack my king, but the queen's gone to c8, and that hasn't happened. I need to experiment a little bit and try to find some ideas. So I'm going to go ahead with h3 here. I'm not sure if it's the best move because it weakens my king side a little bit. Okay, so here I'm still in the book, and I get my 11th move, and I make sure f3 doesn't hang, because, anytime you push a pawn, you weaken a square. Pushing e4 weakens f3. But the hatches are battened down. I'm good to go. Okay, so here's the attack is coming, but, you just let these things come. Yeah, I play d5 here, or e4. So let's see what's missing from my game. Why am I only getting 9 moves in? Because the first 10 are set. Not sure. Well, come back to it. Okay. Now c3. Okay, h6. Now I part with the bishop. I'll go back. I can't really tell which ones I've looked at and which ones I haven't. I'll go back over all the games at their conclusion. I sorted through one just to sort through the opening. I can't keep track to see which one it is. The alternative is I start the video 20 minutes earlier, and you get a lot of idle time of nothing happening, so except me trying to issue challenges. Okay, so here I continue with the system. c3 with the idea c2. Now here I'm ready to castle. Okay. Okay, and here's my 11th move. So e4, and we're playing by the book so far. Okay, that's an interesting move, d4. I don't see that too often. this opens up the diagonal for my light squared bishop. That's the first thing I notice. I like to maintain a pawn on c3 because I can anchor my queen on c2 and she can't be assaulted by a knight on b4 and d4. So I'm willing to play queen c2, and if takes, I still control. If takes on c3, I still control b4 and d4. Plus, I have a half-open b file to operate on. So development's always a rule. I don't want to make a move which increases the scope of black's pieces. Pawn takes at d4, knight takes, queen takes d4. Well, there's a pawn hanging there on b2, 7, but rook b8, and I lose it back. Just develop. It's always a good approach. Okay, so she took the knight. Okay. Now, okay, look good. This game started. I got to move. Okay, knight f3. Sorry I didn't move earlier. Okay. Okay, there. I was talking about to get the c4 square. So I am going to go take it just on general principle. Okay. h6. Now I part with the bishop. Now I've seen this approach sometimes. They play d4. Now I don't want to take at this point because that gives black the b4 square. So I basically maintain everything here. In some cases, I go ahead and overprotect d3. Swing the king rook over to d1. That clears f1 for a bishop if I need to come back there. I think this is the maneuver I've done before. Okay, rook d1. Now I play d3. We're still in the opening here. Now queen c2. Oh, come on, get up there. Queen c2. And now I part with the bishop. Okay. Whoops, not the f pawn. Can't move that. G pawn. Okay. So now, normally I'm pushing a pawn to e4, but I'm not in this case. I could, but that just might allow a d takes e3 en passant. I do have access to the e4 square with a knight. I could put my knight on e4, threaten to double the pawns on f6, and then maybe plop that knight on c5 where it's got some pressure. Let's go ahead and try that because I normally don't get the e4 square. It just looks inviting. I don't have any weaknesses in my game, so I can play that. Okay, now black has played e5. Now, this means he spent a tempo getting that pawn to e5. Excuse me. So, the d file may still open up. Black has possibilities of bishop c5 at some point, trying to hit f2. So if I'm going to move a rook, the correct rook to move the d file is the a rook. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with anticipation of the d file opening up later. Okay, now here I just follow the system and develop my pieces. Okay, now, okay, e4, I get e4 in, and I can't drop the pawn on e4. Now my move here, okay, bishop g2, and like I said, I don't know how many games I have. That's not really that important now. Now here's my 10th move, e4. Okay. Now comes d4. Okay. I'm not sure if that's necessarily the right choice, since black's trying to attack on the king side. This might be one of those rare positions where I can take on d4, even though I don't like to. And the reason is it starts giving me new squares that I wouldn't have had otherwise. Because clearly black is going to throw everything at my king, but I need to open up lines on the queen side. So sitting here idly waiting, c4 would be very slow, and then knight b4 comes in. Let's see. Pawn takes. You see, the point is, if black takes with the e pawn, I've got well, it's not permanent, but I've got the f4 square for a moment, and I've also got some potential with breaking with e5. So I don't necessarily have to take now. I could play knight c4. I'm going to come back to, well, I'm not going to come back. I'm going to answer this one right here. Knight b3 is interesting. Usually I don't put the knight on b3 in this opening. I just don't like giving up b4, no matter how you slice it. Knight c4. You know, if he wants to play b5, he's going to have a really weak position. His king will be not safe in a lot of places. So I'm going to go ahead with knight c4 here, just improve the position of a piece and let the chips fall as they may. Okay, here comes f4 as I expected. Now h3 is a little weaker. I can win a pawn. Is it worth it? I can't win a pawn. Now, one thing they say, the way to meet a wing attack is to play in the center. So the move that strikes me right now is to play d4. But one problem with d4 is it opens up the line for the dark squared bishop, and then g3 hangs. So let's see. Another thing I can do is push g4. I've done some stuff like this in similar positions. Another odd move, knight g5, which says I want to plop that knight in on e6, although I'm not sure where it goes next. Just messing a pawn which can be protected. Rook e1, their candidate moves g4. But, you know, I want trying to teach Chicky some nuances of this game, and I'm thinking what would be best to help her learn to play. So if I play g4, she can still come back and castle kingside because, you know, the kingside is going to get locked up. Do I want one of those positions again where the kingside gets locked up? I've had a few of those. Of course, another idea is to take on f4, pawn takes f4, and then play e5. Knight takes, bishop takes, and I get rook e1 in, and I've got a pin. That's interesting. Now, let's see. Pawn takes. See, it's one of the things when you don't castle early, your opponent can often break the center open and get somewhere. So pawn takes, e5, offers a pawn. Knight takes, or could take with the bishop. Knight takes, bishop takes, rook e1. The bishop is loose, and the bishop is loose and it's pinned. Let's go ahead and try that. I don't want a locked up formation. Okay. Now go ahead with bishop g5. Okay, rook e8. Okay. I'm going to put this rook on e1 and consider remaneuvering. Well, he's got pressure on f3, so I can't play my knight to f1. I'm going to have to chase that bishop out if I want to do that. Now, I don't really want to play rook f1 just yet. Just a wee bit cramped here. Not exactly what I want. And I played rook a1 as a natural move, anticipating the d file will eventually open, but it also steps into a pin. If I'd had more time to think, I probably wouldn't have played that. I might have put that rook on e1. Well, I might not have. I don't know. I can threaten a pawn here, queen b3. Let's see, queen b3 plays knight c5. Let's see, what if I take first and he takes back, then queen b3? Queen b3 might lead him to guard something. I think there's a few changes in this position. I think I need to do it. I'm not sure if I want to get anywhere. Now I'm going to play this tactical move. offering a pawn just to complicate things, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, he played queen c7. um, okay, e5 strikes me. Pawn takes, knight takes, knight takes, knight takes. He's on too much. Pawn takes, knight takes, knight takes, knight takes, bishop takes. He's on it too much. It's like just like I said. Okay. Uh, I can play knight e3 here, and this induces him to make some weaknesses in his position somewhere. The idea is I want to play knight d5, so it encourages him to play e6. Somebody's sending me a chat. Who is it? I did send you a challenge. Currents. Okay, hopefully we get going here with this game. Let's see. I'll try sending you a challenge again. Okay. Okay, we'll get this game going. Okay, happy to give everybody a game. Okay. Now what's happening here? Now do I play queen b3? I don't want to grab the pawn on b7. I just want to change black's setup a little bit here and make black cover that pawn on d5. Wait a minute. There's a problem here. e4. Is that a problem? See, suppose I stepped into the pin. Okay, rook f8, queen b3, e4. Yeah, that's a minor problem. Let's see, rook e1. Well, like, he gets the bishop to c5, but he's not really attacking f2, so it's okay to put this rook here. Okay. Now, attacking the pin piece. Okay, there comes the counter or the attack. What's he threatening I should worry about? The answer is nothing. Okay. See, when he takes on g3, I take back with the f pawn. He trades bishops. His queen gets down to h3 with check. My king goes back to g1, and everything's covered. All I need to do is find a way to develop the rest of my pieces here. So let's see. My last move was knight c4. I can take the knight, or can I? I mean, not take the knight. Knight takes h4. He takes the knight. Rook takes h4. G takes. Queen g4 threatens mate. g3. I'm sorry, f3 attacks his queen, protects g2. And my king slides to h1, and I'm winning. There's no point in grabbing a pawn, and if I play knight takes, he plays g5. Here comes the attack. I mean, is there any point in all this? Okay, what if I put the bishop on d2? That develops it, and then maybe I can go into lines where I take on d4, and I can rip that knight right out of b4. Okay. Now, let's see. Knight d7. Okay. Now, he took here. Okay, this is fine. I'm used to this position. I've seen this many times. Okay, bishop went back. Now, one of the things about this position with the knight and the bishop on f6 and h7 is that e4 can come under fire. So I always have to make sure that I have it covered. So first step is rook e1. Okay, so he played knight b6. Now that's not a comfortable square for that knight, in my opinion. Where's it going next? Well, where was it going? Where was it going on D7? Well, it was going to C5, and then maybe E6. See here, knight can't go to C4. It can't go to A4. So I've lured him into misplacing the knight, and next I believe is to let's see. He's not threatening E4. E4 pawn takes, and I've got it covered. I can't play knight H4 because I drop a rook. So the rook going to D1 might have been a mistake, but we'll try to work out of it. Let's see. I can play H3, but then bishop H5. G4, bishop G6. He's got a little pressure on D3. So the normal moves I like to play in this position are stuff like knight F1, but that just drops a piece. And I can't move my knight. Is it a drawback if I'm weakening G3 with H3? Only if his bishop gets to C5 and he can pile up on G5. This gives an option to... Let's see where he puts the bishop. Okay. D4. Answering a pin with a pin. See, I want to pin him, but... What if I play queen E2? Okay, there. Now we get this off. Okay, rook C8. What's happening here? Try to keep track of all these different positions. Let's see. I don't want to play A4 in a situation like this. It just weakens B3. With pawn structure as such, I could be playing for knight E1 and F4, although I rarely do that. Maybe it's because I rarely run into this pawn chain by black, or pawn center by black, E5, D4, C5. Certainly something to consider. I'm going to put the knight on C4, and I don't really care if he takes it. My double pawns are pretty strong. Don't have a whole heck of a lot of maneuvering room here, do I? Is this a position where I want to take on D4? Probably not. Let's see. Knight F1, but then where's my knight go next? Oh, I know what I can do in this position. I've done this maneuver before. Knight F1. The idea is to play H4 at some point and bring the knight into play by way of H2. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Okay, now I lured him off the pin. He's got a pin, but it lures me off the pin. That frees my knight now to go to F1. Now he gets a pin with knight C4, but I'm not too worried about that. Okay, now she castled. Now did I just win a piece? Queen takes E5. What am I missing? Okay, didn't play E6. I want to play knight D5 here. Bishop takes, pawn takes. Knight E5. Knight takes, bishop takes. F4 gives me a reasonable position. We're just looking for an equal game here. Okay, went ahead with that move. Okay, did I miss something? Because after bishop takes, there's pressure on F3 again. Of course, let him win the pawn on D3 and it's weak, and D4 will be isolated. I can get the pawn back later. Let's see. What if knight D4 here? Knight D4. Okay, say I don't. You can take the pawn on D3, but well, he's getting C4 in. Queen takes. Let's see. Knight D4. Pawn takes. Where do I put my queen? If I put it on D2, I run into knight C3. I mean, knight C4. Not too sure about this one. How much time do I have? 75 minutes. I think what I need to do is do a quick peek through of my games and see if I'm running into time pressure in any of them. Because one thing I have noticed is if somebody really wants to play bliss chess, I'm going to get in time trouble in a hurry, and they lose the chance of being able to sit and think for a long time. And if they can play good moves, great. If they don't, they run the risk that they played too fast and their game falls apart. So probably what I need to do is some kind of a quick check through to make sure I'm not in any kind of getting in any kind of time pressure. Let's see. Let's go back here. Okay, that game's going. Okay, she's got a pawn. I can threaten mate. Ooh. Double mate threat. Ouch. Okay. Gotta go through these. Did the game with currents ever start? Okay, he did take that. Okay, even game. Now I gotta come back and think about this one, because I'm not sure exactly what's happening here. Let's see. What would I do if... I mean, I could take on E4 and allow the bishop to take. Then there's a tempo on my... He's attacking my knight on F3 again. And don't quite like that so much. But, say la vie. What was I doing? I was going to do a run through all my games and see if it's in time pressure. I'll do that in just a second. Just kind of get entranced by this position. I didn't like taking that pawn earlier because it gave him a chance to play E4, and then son of a gun, there it is. Boom. So anyway, there's another tick. Okay, candidate moves. Knight D4, and of course, I can... Where else can I put the knight? I mean, I like the idea of putting knight D4. I don't have to go back to C2 with my queen. Nothing's making me do that. Not sure. Okay, I was talking about doing a run through to see what kind of time I had in all these games. Let me see, where's my... There's my mouse. Okay. I have 66 minutes here to 76. What's happening here? Okay, I think the idea here is get a rook on the D file. Okay, I'm not in time pressure there. Okay, he did play what I thought. So, question is, we go into opposite colored bishops. Do I mind that? I don't want to keep the knight on. I guess I don't mind. Okay, there's that as expected. Okay, now I take this way, right? Okay, now I have checkmate. I'm not going to do it yet. Let's got a little message here to post to everybody. Anybody watching? Whoops. Okay, now do I play F4? That weakens my king position slightly, but at the same time, it pressures E7 a little bit. Yeah, let's just do it. Okay. I was wondering about that move, B5. I'm not sure if I mentioned it. Well, I did mention it. I said it just weakens the black king position a little bit. I mean, true, my knight only has one square. I don't care if he doubles my pawns. Okay, now back to this one. What's happening here? Okay, I'm not sure my candidate moves. I want to spend some time on this one, otherwise I can mess this one up real quick. My candidate moves are knight d4, knight h4, and take the pawn on e4 with my pawn. And what else? What other places can I stick that knight? d2? Nah, that look good. Where else can I do anything with my queen? Anything? No. Oh, my pawn's that knight's attacked, so I got to deal with that. Okay, so I should. Instinct says I'm okay here. I can allow him to take on d3 and let that pawn sit and win it later, and black gets an isolated d pawn. But that's the kind of thing that can backfire on you if you don't do it right. All of a sudden, that knight on b6, which I thought I'd put out of play, suddenly gets a c4 square. So these things have to be considered when you're trying to get somewhere here. I've got my rook centralized now. And the queen has a certain range, ability to come back to the king side if needed. But not quite sure. Let's see. So let's see. I'm looking at when I go to knight d4 after e takes d3. Where do I put my queen? I have d2 runs into knight c4. C1 looks okay. It might be okay. B3 is a possibility. And then it's just too dangerous, I think, to allow that pawn to get to d3 and deal with it. And I give him the c4 square, but he's going to get it anyway if I take. Let's see, pawn takes, bishop takes. On e4, he still has an isolated pawn. Okay. And my queen can go to e2, and he doesn't really have a useful discovery. Then I can play knight e3 and take the pressure off. Now I think I got to take here. It's a noble idea to give out that pawn, but I think it gets too complicated and I run into trouble. Okay. Did Currents ever start? Yeah, he did. Where's the game? I saw the name up here. Maybe my clock is running. Okay, no, we've managed to move. Okay. Sorry about that. I set the challenge earlier. You missed it. Okay, so now He might try to pressure c3. Uh, whew. Let's see. Play c4. That closes the D file down. I mean, closes the B file down. C4 gives him D4, but that's okay. He's going to get a lot of pressure with Queen A5. Okay, I'll just shut the file down. I mean, shut the B file down before it gets open. Okay, now is he pressuring the square? E4. Not really. I can play rook E1. Okay, now let's see what I want to do here. Okay, knight F1. Played that without any thought. Okay, so I'll just take. Oh, you got a little trick here. Tricky. Uh, hmm. If I take on c3 with the pawn, I hang the knight on a3. If I take with the bishop, I walk into a fork. What if I put the bishop on e3? That's an idea. What do I do? What does he do? I mean, this is weird. This is a weird position. Okay. I don't really want to give up a piece here. But I don't mind giving up a pawn or two, especially with him exposing his king a little bit. You know, his king is not castled. That can't be any good if this king isn't castled. His back rank is still undeveloped. Black shouldn't come out of this okay if I do it right. The one threat he has is to bring a queen down to h3 with check. But now there's a new threat because there's a potential fork. But his king side is just his position has just got some weaknesses in it. And I don't mind being down a pawn or two in a position like this simply because I can open up the game to my favor. If I do it right. Let's see. Bishop e3. Bishop e1 is another move. Bishop e3 stops the check, for what it's worth. That might be a nuisance. I don't mind, the pawns, losing pawns here. Because his king's just not going to get not have a safe place to land. That's the major problem I see with Black's position here. Unless he can collect if I give up a piece, then maybe he can get away with it. Of course, I can attack his queen with bishop takes h3 and deflect his queen away from that knight on c6. That might be the way to go. Yeah, it doesn't make sense because I've got h2 covered, yeah. Bishop e3 is interesting. I don't mind if pawn takes. My knight grabs this. Well, wait, no. Gotta, no, it runs into trouble. No, I gotta take this. And I've got h2 covered. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, now e castle. Now I play e4. Okay. Haven't completed looking at games I'm in time pressure on. Okay, so queen b6. So, what I have to do, if anything, is activate my bishop. And the only way to do that is to point it at his king in a menacing way. Let's put it on e4 to start with. See what happens. Okay. He played rook ad8. Now, e4 is covered. So we go through maneuver knight f1. Okay, he took there. Now I bring the queen to e2. And I think that's what I remembered. Okay, is it my move here? Yeah. Okay. Here is where I bring the other rook over to d1. Just kind of playing naturally here. I'm not ready yet for knight e3 because e4 is hanging. I've got to keep that square covered. Okay, now queen d7. If he wants to bring his bishop to h3, that's fine. I think this is a position where I can just lock up the center and try to use the knights later. Kind of goes against the grain of what I... Oh, wow, I'm down to 44 minutes here. What's happening? Bishop g7. Okay, knight c5. Natural move. Okay, rook takes. He took with the rook. Okay, I was thinking he had to take with the queen, but he took with the rook. Now, what does that change, if anything? I can take with the... Okay, it doesn't. His rook no longer protects g8. So, if I get... Do I have time for queen b3? It's kind of an odd move. Let's see. Queen takes c3, b4, queen c4. He takes. I take on g8. And he's really opening up his king. He just doesn't have enough development to have a tactical refutation to this. I think I can get away with this. Okay. Okay, he brought his rook to d8. That's fine. Now, is this the type of position I want to try to lock the center up in? I rarely do that, I can't push e5 and d4 here simply because there's a pin on my queen, and it will give him both c5 and f6 breaks. This is one of those positions where I can help protect e4 a little bit by bringing this knight to d2. Just a little bit of knight maneuvering here. That gives up control of e5, but I'm not too worried about that. Okay, now queen c4. Wow, I'm running out of time in a lot of these games. Some of them started late, and it's not sending me back to the game. Okay, so the time was a little over an hour old. I started, but the video that I'm making is only 44 minutes old because I didn't start it right away. There's that d4. We got that position again. In a similar position, I didn't play for an f4 break. Maybe that's what I need to try here. Let's try knight e1. Let's try to mix things up a little bit. Worst case scenario is he gets a bishop to e2, but only if I let him. Okay. Okay, he took my pawn. Now I take his bishop, right? Knight takes. I'm on his queen. He's sacrificing a pawn. For some reason I didn't think of that. I thought of it, I didn't mention it. Okay, pawn takes. He takes with the queen. I trade queens. I get a rook on the 7th. Yeah, I'll just take it. Okay, now that gives me the d5 and f5 squares. This is what I want. Okay, how much is he pressuring e4? So I can't play knight e3 right now. But I can play knight h4. And now I think I take on g8. I hope this is crazy. Yeah, take on g8. I guess he castles right into maybe danger. Okay, so let's see. Trade his queen. Do I want to keep the queen? No, just trade it. Okay. Now knight e3 breaks the pin, or breaks the discovered possibilities. Okay, so now I get knight f5 in. Nice square for a knight. Okay. So, not much happening here now. Yeah, I was just thinking of offering my draw. I can do that. I was going to play rook e2. He'll double rooks. Maybe I take on a7, and yeah, it's a draw. I mean, it's not really a draw. There's plenty of play, but no point in carrying on. I don't care about the accept that one. Move on. Get another game left. Okay, thanks for the game. I don't know how many games I have. I never even bothered to figure it out. I know I finished 2. I have a win and a draw. That's fine with me. I'll come back and cover some of these games in a little bit. The Great Dawn is moved. Let's see. I've got to watch some of these games so I don't run out of time. Very Dead. It's his move. Now, some of these games started late. I'm not even sure it's my move in them. Wow, look at that. It's not popping up. Okay, he took that pawn, right? So what do I put my rook? b1, I suppose? Now, how many pawns do I have? Oh, switched off. I might be down a pawn there, but I probably get it back. Okay, let's see. He's doubled rooks. Now, knight d4 is the kind of move I want to play because it's a blockading move. And but I don't like my queen stuck on e2. Knight d4 is what I want to play. Knight d4. We'll have to trade bishops. Bishop takes, king takes. Now he gets knight c4 in. But then d4 hangs. Yeah, basically I've accepted equality in all these games. Now knight d4. Is he playing too quick? No, he's taking his time. I've got a tactic here. Knight takes e5, because if he takes it, he gets checkmated. Wow. Let's see. I was talking about how many pawns I have. I might be down a pawn, but I can get it back. Well, this gets one back right now. What's he threatening? Knight e2 check. My king's covered. Let's do it. I don't know. That's a little risky. Knight takes. What if he castles? Oh, I'm on his queen. He's got to deal with his queen. Yeah, I'm liking this more and more. Okay, surprised. Knight takes e5. Okay, c5. Now, I'm actually ready for knight a3. This is the move I want to play. Or did the knight just go to... no, yeah, I can do this. Knight e3 because I've got e4 covered. Okay, now a little bit of knight maneuvering here. Now he attacked. Now I go over to e2. This is all part of the plan. Okay. Now I need to take this guy back. Okay, let's see. Bishop g7. Now I put this here. Okay. Wow, look at my time going down. I get that 30-second increment. How many games do I have going? I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I can figure it out. Currents 1, 2, 3, 4, and succenna is 5. Move this arrow. 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 games. Not entirely sure. Okay. Now, there's a half-open file. I'm going to take it. Okay. He castled. Now it's my move. Now knight d2. What did he do? Bishop f8. And now knight e3. Right? I got the d5, f5 squares in control. Okay, he's attacking this guy. Not usual. Okay, c3, queen takes. What if I just play queen c1 here? I'll play c3 and queen c2 later, because I think his queen's a little misplaced there. But I could be wrong. Okay, now, what's weak in the black position? g6 and e6. So let's start pressuring those squares. This gives him c4, but his knight has to go to a5 to get there. I get a tempo. Okay, a6, he's trying for b5. Now, objectively, what I want to do is go for f5, f4. f4, how do I do that? Knight d2 or knight d1? Knight d2. Now that gives him c2, although it might, let's just play this, the slow play at knight e1. Okay, he did go into c4. It was a square I was talking about that he would have. How much time do I have left there? I need to take a walk. It's only been, not quite been an hour on the video, but make sure I'm not running out of time in some of these later games here. Let's see. I have plenty of time there. I have plenty of time. No, I don't have plenty of time here, but I just moved. Okay. That's against Warrior. Succenna. That's that wild one. He didn't move yet to knight takes e5. See, Black's problem here is he didn't, he's trying to upset the apple cart with tactics, and he didn't get his development complete. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here. Maybe I'm going to come up upon ahead. I don't know. Bishop g4. The occurrence was a later game. Okay. Now I put the queen on e6. Wow. Well, If you want to take that pawn, I think your queen gets trapped. C6, queen takes E2, rook E1. Where does your queen go? So I'll just go through with the system here. Right? C3, queen takes E2. No, he takes on D3. Okay. Break my system down, but your queen's misplaced. Don't feel like dealing with it with long analysis since I've wasted some time getting to this game. This game was behind in time. Where is it? I'm trying to click it. Come on, go there. There it is. Not sure if it's my move or their thinking time everywhere. Okay, he's evicting my knight. Where do I want to put it? I have H6 with check. Looks good. Check. Okay. Now we play Queen E6. Okay. What do I do here? Knight. Can I do anything with my queen? No, I gotta take it. My queen can't go anywhere. We take it. Now, what if I pressure F7 with Queen B3? Somebody's sending me a chat. Who's this? Okay, well, I'll accept the chat. I don't know. Is this guy on the list? Let's see. Queen B3. How does he protect F7? Knight B8. I'm not sure. Let's see. Knight B8. Is he attacking anything I should worry about? Probably not. Queen B3 makes him play Knight B8. Or does it finally hang E4? Oh, what's this guy doing? Is he on my list? What's he doing here so late? Why are you so late? What's his name? Black Bishop 123. I still got the list open. Wait, he's not on the list. Black Bishop 123. Let me look again. Black Bishop 123. Ends in 123. There's a Conrad 123. He's not on the list. Is he on my friends list? I remember my video listens group. Okay, so I'm thinking of Knight D5 here. Yeah, it's a theme I like to do here. Queen b3 just looks a little fishy. Okay, queen d7. Now, do I play for f4 right now? Yeah, why not? Okay. He took with the queen. Now what do I mean, not with the queen. He took my queen with his knight. Now what do I do? Okay. He has 5 pawns. I have 5 pawns. I have bishop and knight. Gotta move my knight. It's under attack. c4 looks like a good square. It'll attack the pawn again. Go there. Okay, now. The guy left the chat. What are you doing? Why did you leave the chat? What are you leaving the chat for? Okay, what's he doing? Let's see. Bishop f8. Okay, what do I want to do here? I've just been carefully maneuvering. 55 minutes left. Okay, once you're on the list, you stay on. Okay, so you just joined. Simul schedule 12 noon PST. I have obligations with server, so I can't really start a new game this late. Once you're on the list, you stay on. Eventually, everyone plays me. Okay. Alright, so 54 minutes here in an even game. Interesting thing in these pawn structures is I ran into some trouble in the game in my last simul with this pawn structure h2, g3, f3, e4, but I'm going to try it again. Now he castles queenside. Huh. Okay. So, is that allowed? No, I guess his king. I guess it is. His king never moved. So what am I? Do I want to take the pawn with my knight and guard d3? That just seems a little funny. I don't know what I want to do here. Let's see. Knight takes b2. Puts me a pawn ahead. At least for now. Make him prove something. Of course, rook f3. Well, he has this bishop check on c5. Followed by doubling his rooks on the h file. But I can always cover that. Rook h1. I'm just going to take it with my knight. Figure it out. Okay. So he took, and now I took. Okay. Now, let's see. Did I move here yet? No, I let this one sit. If I play knight takes c4, he can play bishop takes g2. Let me look at these games. I want to make sure I don't... Okay, guy, you should have been here, joined my group months ago, and been ready for this. I can't just take on a new game now if you just found me, you know. Okay, so... Oh, he played e5. I thought he took something. Hmm... I'll just slow play it with e3 here. Okay. Now I take back with the pawn, naturally. He can play knight b4 there. He played bishop a3. What's he trying to do? Take my knight so that he can take the pawn on d3? Well, he's getting ready to double, so I need to be able to shift a rook to h1. So let's attack that rook and get it done with. Okay. This would be a good time to find a good place to put my queen. He's threatening b2. I'm just getting away off that game for a minute. Where's all my time going on some of these games? These ones that started late. Okay. I like the idea of swinging his rook off the pressure on d3. If he doubles, I'll just swing my rook over to h1. Okay, what's that tickle? I heard a little ching ching. b5, that's kind of rare. What was my last move? f3. Okay. Time to do a little maneuvering. Not really sure what I want to do here. Always go attack that b pawn. See what he has in mind. I'm trying to maintain a strong point with the pawn on e4 at all times, so he went all the way back. I thought he might double rooks. Okay, so what I want to do here... Defend my pawn with rook f3. That just seems to invite knight g5. I take it. Yeah, if I get an opposite color, bishop, my bishop versus his knight ending, it's okay. What do I want to do here? I need to think about this one. I'm starting to run out of time. Let's see. I could kick his knight with b3. The problem with that is it weakens c3, but sometimes you have to make little concessions. I'm not sure if I really have to make concessions. I've got a decent pawn structure. I've got an isolated d pawn blockaded. I mean, he has the isolated d pawn, but I have it blockaded. I got my queen and rook centralized. So does he. Essentially, the game is about even. Don't really. White just doesn't get an advantage in this opening, but White doesn't get necessarily a bad game. White gets a playable game. So there were a few little tactical shots I had to watch out for. I believe I have them covered. They involved, the loose, the potential discoveries on the e-file, but I closed that down with knight e3, and I got a small weakness on g3, but not too drastic. So I take on knight takes c4, bishop takes g2 is kind of ouchy, but maybe maybe it's one of those positions I can allow. Let's see. Knight takes c4. Bishop takes g2. I move my queen. I just grabs my h-pawn and I'm down a pawn. Okay, that's not really I can do. So, candidate moves. Somebody moves somewhere, heard a click. Because I always have f1 for my queen. And if he takes on b2, and win that, might be able to win that d pawn. I don't know, let's see. Knight takes c4, bishop takes g2, knight e3. Bishop takes h3, right? Knight e3. Can he take on h3? No, I have a crazy move. Knight takes d5. Does that sound? Let's see. Knight takes... I don't mind having the two knights in this position against the two bishops. Knight takes c4, bishop takes g2, knight e3. And if he takes on h3, I can play knight takes d5, rook takes d2, knight takes f6, or rook takes e2, knight takes f6, check. Voila. Yeah, his knight's getting too strong. I don't mind having the two knights in this position, so we're going to try and trick him. Okay, so he's attacking my queen that way. But, there's no rule. I mean, my rook. Pawn takes, queen takes, check. King over, and he grabs the rook. But there's no rule that says I have to take his knight, is there? And the answer is no, there isn't. So, I just bring the queen back to c1, or d1, I think. And go from there. Okay, he took it. Now I bring this back. Okay, he's on c5. Bishop e3, knight takes d3. Pressure on a7, get me an outside pass pawn. Okay, f bishop there. So now we kick it. f3. Okay, he's attacking my queen again. Let's see. which way to do this. Okay. I may hang my pawn on c3. I'm not too worried about that. Let's see, knight d c3. Knight takes. Yeah, gotta break the pin. Okay, I was trying to induce this c4 move, simply to help get e4 loose. Okay, he took. Now, let's see. I'm a pawn. No, I'm not a pawn ahead. Where's his knight threatening to go? Here, e1, and b2. So, where else is it threatening to go? I just put the rook on b1 and let the chips fall where they may. Okay, he didn't bite. He didn't take the pawn. Okay, now I got the two knights for what it's worth. I've got the blockade on d4. What about h4 here? Just taking squares away from him. Okay. He took. Now, which way do I take? With the knight or the bishop? Knight takes. He could take with the bishop. I take. He's going to take down here. Fine, he wins a pawn. Okay, who wants to talk now? Okay. Okay, now I'll just go back with the system here. Okay, he took, and I take. Do I take with the bishop or the knight? He took that way, of all ways. Okay, so didn't quite expect him to go that way. I'll put the queen back on c2. Rook d8. Well, we'll just grab a pawn. Okay. Bishop e6. Now let's just chase that knight back and play f4. No, let's just play f4 right now. Okay, he took. Now, one thing is, if I play a move like Queen B3, doesn't take me to these later games. Okay, let's see. Rook E8. Queen C2. Okay, do I want to give up the exchange? The answer is no, I don't. I'll just put him on B1 and see what happens. Okay. He's trying to trap my bishop. What if I play rook F5 here? Rook F5, rook takes C4, bishop takes, knight takes, rook takes check. I get an outside pass pawn. Might not be enough to win. Gotta trade the rooks off here. What if I play rook D1? Yeah. Rook D1 attacks the knight twice. Knight D1 check doesn't work. I'll go for that. Okay, there's that annoying pin again. That's the problem I had yesterday. So we get the king off the diagonal. Okay, now A6. Okay, let's see. A6 he played, taking B5 away from me, although I'm happy with my knight there. Just double my rooks, get ready to some flexibility and double them somewhere. Just kind of play natural here. He's back. Okay, so now I have this ugly bishop that I'd love to trade off, if you will oblige me. Okay. B5. Queen B3. Oh, we had that. I was looking at all those other checks. Well, okay, fine. Let's see. How do I want to take? I gotta look, make sure I'm losing time on some of these games. Okay, I played here. Currents. What's happening there? Queen A6. Okay, E4. Okay, let's see. Rook takes. E play takes. I take with the bishop. Okay, Queen D3. What's he threatening? Anything I should worry about? My pawn on E4. If I take on B5. Oh, he just took a pawn. Okay, fine. Okay. Now I go gobble a pawn. Bishop C5. Just double the rooks on the D file. Seems natural. Okay, now we take with the knight. Or we take with the queen. We take with the queen. Because g4 is not covered. Do you take another pawn? My goodness, where are these pawns coming from? Okay, I come back on this one. I have plenty of time. Okay, there's two games where my time is just appearing. It won't refresh those games for whatever reason. I'm down to 8 minutes here. Yeah, look, see, time's ticking. C3. Lots of people moving. But which ones? Okay, check. I got to afford to trade rooks here. Okay. Queen C2. I have discoveries. He has exit checks. Knight E5, Queen E3 check, King H1. Yeah, let's do it. Gotta create some kind of a threat here. Okay. Now he took. Now we take with the pawn. Okay. Now knight back here. Well, let's see. Put this knight back on F1. Okay. Check. I take. He's going to take there. Oh, he eliminated my critter. Okay, that's fine. I own the dark squares. Let's see, what do I want to do? Bishop here. Check, king up, rook takes. Right, let's see, where's this bishop at? Let's just drop him on H8. You can go to A4. Let's just put it on A3. Get ready to save it. Oh, I missed that. Okay, who's talking to me now? Okay, check. I gotta go here. Okay, let's see. C4. My move. Wait, that just drops a knight. Let's see. For some reason, I'm just running out of time in all these games. Let's see. King F3, Rook A2. Okay, why is it freezing there? Why is it freezing? It's his move there. Okay, don't move so fast, and I won't have this problem. Okay, what was your last move? C5. Okay, E5. Okay, I've already accepted a private chat. I know I'm running out of time. Okay, I mean I'm not aggravated. It's just that if you stop and want to talk to me, I lose more time. Okay, I know what's going on. I don't even know how many. Never even figured out how many games I had going on. I haven't gone over any of them. Okay, let's see. I'm going to drop the exchange here. No big deal. Just the exchange. But I may get it back. I may get it back. I don't know. Let's see. Uh, these people are offering me draws. I don't read the chat. Okay, where was I? I'll just bring the queen back here. Okay. Okay, what's happening here? Okay, I'm running out of time against Warrior J. I can't start these games late. It just doesn't take me to those games. Uh, King up. Okay, somebody moved. Knight G4. Well, we just kick it. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening here. Some of these games, my time's just dropping like crazy. It won't refresh those games. Okay, he hasn't moved. He hasn't moved. Did he move? Yeah, stop moving so fast, and I'll catch up. Okay, let's see. Very dead. Okay, I'll accept this. Okay, now don't move so fast. Sit. My turn. What do I want to do here? I hadn't decided this one yet. I've got to pass D pawn. Can I shove it? No. My knight's on the rim. Need to get him back in play, I think. I'm just going to play h3 here. Okay, counterplay over there, getting the exchange back. Time to finish some of these games, I think. I still need to take a walk, and I haven't had time. I'll drop one of these games on time. Okay, that game's over. What's this one happening here? How do I have 12 minutes left here? Oh, God. Why don't these things refresh? Okay, so what I do here is I just seal off that side of the board. Okay, now the king comes. Where's the king go? Here? Am I dropping that pawn? Not necessarily. Why didn't I see such an elementary check? Okay. Now let's see. Rook has got to occupy squares. Rook e1. Okay, knight f1. Whose move is it here? Okay, what's happening? He attacked me. Well, I'll give him a chance to mess up his pawns. Okay. Bishop e2. What's he doing? He's attacking my queen. He can't do that. But he just did. Knight c4. Bishop takes f1. Knight takes e3. Bishop takes. Rook takes. And I've lost the exchange. And I'm down a couple pawns. How much time do I have left? I have 72 minutes here. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't know how I end up losing all this time on these games. Maybe this is too many games to play. It just won't refresh these. Is it my move here? No, it's his move. Okay. My move. Okay. I had another game that was running out of time. He took. Okay, fine. Let's just see. Not sure what's happening. Okay, he took with the pawn. So now we take with the knight. Okay. What's happening here? c6. I'm running out of time here too. My goodness. Knight e5. Okay. What's he on? Anything I should worry about? What's on g5? Nothing. Okay. I took there. I'm looking for one game in particular. I can't seem to find it. It's one where I just took on d5 with my knight. Okay, this one I was running low on time. Is it ticking here? It sure is. Okay, there goes his b5, so I just play b3. Is it my move here? No, it's his move. Okay, what's he attacking? G4. I'll take this pawn. Okay, I'm not sure what I want to do there. Almost have too many games going on. He took that pawn. Now I'm going to go wave this knight on e6. Looks like a good square. Okay. I'm looking for one game. Which one was it? Oh, it's one where he just took my rook on d1. Who was that game against? Uh, who was that game against? Very dead? No, I was running. Okay, he moved there. Now he broke the pin. It was nice for you to run, but where's it going to go? D7? D5? I'll just put the queen on D2. Okay, I'm not sure what I want to do there. Currents. Okay, I still can't find the one game where I played knight takes D5. What happened to it? Maybe I accidentally resigned it. Maybe I closed it. Wouldn't surprise me. Somehow I dropped a pawn. I didn't think he could do that. Well, I ought to just resign this game and... Well, there's some ways to draw these things. Let's just play it up a little bit. You can be down a... You have a bishop against a king and king, rook, and pawn and draw. If I remember correctly. Yeah, somebody took something. Who took what? Okay, I don't know. I'll just put the bishop here now. Okay. I can't find that one game. Where is it? Maybe I just need to start resigning games or offering draws to get them over with. No, these games are playable. I still think they can go a little bit. The Great Dawn. Is that the one? No, that's another one. Oh, that's the one. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Now knight takes. Check. Okay, he took. Now I take back with the rook. Although taking back with the pawn, certainly inviting. I'll just take with the pawn. Okay, currents, what's happening there? That's why I took back with the pawn. Okay, he's attacking f2. You can't do that. Let's put my knight on f3. Stop that. Okay. What do I have? 3 pawns against 5. I'm down 2 pawns. And he's trying to win the exchange. Well, he's no longer trying to win the exchange. He was. He's not. I can take the exchange now. Well, he's on my queen. That's right. Let's just go put it on that square. Okay, now I stick that there. He took. Now I take this way. Okay, he went there. Now let's see. Knight f5 check. Pawn takes. Bishop h6 check. Doesn't quite have enough sting to it. Just put the knight on g4. Okay, he took and I take here. Okay, it's my move here and I'm running out of time. Okay, let's take this. Okay, knight going's there, threatening a check. First we get rid of this. He can check, but I can sack my queen. Haha. Okay, he snatched that pawn. Okay. Well, he wants to go back. I'll go back. Okay. Now, got these great knights. Time to get them into the game. How do I do that? Let's shove this pawn up. Clear some squares. Oh, we trapped it. Well, wasn't watching for that. I was expecting to lose this one. Good game. One less to look at. And let me make sure I don't go dropping stuff in these other games. Let's see. I mean, some of these games are just ridiculous. I'd love to go over some of these, and I can't. Probably can't do it until the end, because all of a sudden my time's running out in these games. Okay, he pushed there. I'll just ignore it. Push by. Okay, he took that, and now I take here. He took there now. H3. And now let's see. Queen d3 check. Try to bamboozle him here. Is it my move here? Dang it. Why is it always my move? Okay. Let's put this on h4. He went back to g8. Let's put this knight on h2. Very dead. Has a... Okay, let's see. Okay, who am I in time trouble with? This guy here, A-War. 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Ridiculous. I'm down to 1 minute and counting here. Oh my goodness. Okay. Chop. Just have to play some moves here. Now we threaten mate. Okay, I have 2 minutes left here. Is it my move? No, it's not. Okay. I attack that knight. It's his move. Legderev. Is it my move here? No, he's not moving again. It's my move here. Okay. Rook Queen e4. Let's attack that knight. Okay. He's attacking my queen. I'm protecting his rook. So we have white squares here. Let's go queen. Let's see. I want to put this queen. Queen c4. Okay, now I attack your queen. Okay. Oh, look, a free pawn. Queen takes f6. Threatening mate again. Wish I had more time to look at these. Yeah, I don't know how it got where it never refreshed the games where I was on the move, and all of a sudden 40, 50 minutes are slipping by. Rook g7. Let's say I threaten a mate on the back rank here. Okay. Warrior is running out of time. Okay, let's see. Let's just take his bishop and break down his defenses here. Okay. Yeah, do the same thing here. Okay, check. I come up. Okay, lots of moves here. He took that. Okay. He went back now. Not so worried about a knight here, as long as I have control of e3. Okay. He went back. Now I'm running out of time here. But what am I up? Am I up anything? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pawns to 5. Let's isolate a pawn. Let's get this bishop activated. Let's try to push this. Okay, he's attacking that as expected. Queen h5. h4 rather. Okay, is he moving here? No, he's sitting on the game. This one went south quick. Okay. Still don't even know how many games I started. I know I finished 3. I think I have a win, a loss, and a draw. Okay, I got this bishop activated. Okay. He's playing fast. That's okay. I'll just anchor that bishop in and get some time back on the increment. Okay, where's he going? Where's that bishop going? I don't know where it's going, but I'm going forward with my pawns. I only have 5 minutes here. Some of these games I just have hardly any time. Kind of crazy. This shouldn't have happened. It's just not refreshing the game, so I don't have time. That's what the problem is. Okay, brought his knight in there. Where's he going next? I don't know. Is he going to b2? Okay. Now I think I win the king and pawn ending. Queen takes. I don't have time much to comment as much as I want. Maybe I'd played too many games. Part of it's the late start. Because this hasn't happened before. Where's he threatening to go? f3. Do I care if he goes to f3? Well, I'm running out of time. Let's just send him there. Let's just send him there. Okay, now what's he doing here? He's putting a rook on the 7th. Okay, what if I push e6? I don't really have much else. Well, what if I put my bishop on d5? I have plenty of time in this game. I got to make sure I don't go drop a game on time somewhere over here. Let's see, which games were low? Was I low on time against? Uh, Warrior J was one of them. Okay, he took. No, I checked. Okay, I'll take there. Uh, let's see. Rook takes f7. Interesting move. Rook takes e6. He moves the rook. I don't have a discovery. Uh, okay, what's happening here? 52 minutes there. What happened? Somebody resigned? Or did I lose on a game on time? Probably lost a game on time. Let's see. Okay, he's there. Now, let's swap queens and go into rook ending. Okay. He played there. I have 18 minutes left. Let weaken g6. So, let's go attack your rook. Okay. What's happening here? Simul is now 2 hours and 20 minutes old. He hasn't moved. No, the GM is still going on. This one's still going on. I don't want to close any games out. I want to go over them all afterwards, but I don't have time to go over any of them. You know, suddenly this threat of... Okay, he traded queens. Okay. He probably moved again. Let's see. I'm trying to find that game again is a pain. You know, I may have to start closing these windows down. As much as I want to review each game, it's not sending me back to the games I'm behind on time trouble. So this is a flaw with chess.com. Hopefully their new fix will, their new version will have this fixed, because I can't find games I'm in time pressure in. Okay, Warrior was one I was in. Okay, he's attacking a pawn. I'll just defend it. Okay, I'm not in time pressure there. As soon as this guy moves, I'm going to lose on time. You know, it's some of your guys' fault. You know, you play blitz chess, you're going to... I've mentioned this before. You play blitz chess, you're going to get me in time pressure. Okay? And you don't get the chance to sit down and think about the game. If you look at all the other games, I'm not in time pressure because the people are thinking, and the games are coming out more or less even Steven. So let's see. Let's play a3. Okay. I can't find the games where I'm in time pressure. I mean, this is not right. Okay. He centralizes king. Now I'll just double the rooks. I mean, you get a 90-30 time control so you can sit and play a 3-hour game. You know, you don't want to play a 3-hour game with you taking 30 minutes and me taking 2.5 hours. that more or less defeats the purpose. Okay, queen there. Now let's see. Where's he going? C2? Well, I'll keep you out of there. I'll just improve my position slightly. Okay, he hasn't moved. Okay, which game is it? Warrior J I was low on time on. And I imagine he's moved again. Yep, see, he's moved already. Okay, here comes a pin. Okay. I mean, you win the game on time, big deal. I don't care about these results. It's just to give you a game where you can practice and see how I think. And if you're going to play blitz chess, what are you playing 90-30 for? You know, they have 5-minute games on demand. And you can probably talk a national master or candidate master into playing you. They have lots of 5-minute games. Okay. So let's see. 18 minutes here. Is it my move? No, it's his move. How many more games do I have on this end? Okay, I'm going to... Where's that game? With Warrior J. That's one where I'm running out of time. Now he's not moving. Right when I want him to move, he's not moving. I want him to move while I'm here, and I can rattle off another couple moves. But he's not moving. So I'm going to head a pawn there, and I still can't find the game. I was trading into a winning king and pawn ending. What's that little tick? Somebody offering me a draw or something? I don't know. The Great Don. Oh, I won that. He resigned. I think he resigned. Yeah, he resigned. He was going to lose. Okay, so that one's over. Okay, King James ended up a draw. I lost this. Oh, I ran out of time. See? What can I say? You know, I didn't mean to lose on time to you. The game wouldn't refresh. It wouldn't come back to this game. I don't know why. I'm sorry. You win a 26 move game on time. I don't have time to talk to you about things. Anyway, let's see. Got to find the games I'm behind in time. And now this one ended in a draw, so that's over. Okay. You know, let's see. Somebody moved somewhere. Well, why doesn't it refresh? This game's over. Okay. Why don't you take me to the new game like you're supposed to? I got to find the games. That's my move. Yeah. See here. Okay. So check. Okay. Why doesn't it refresh the games? What's wrong with this thing? I thought they fixed it. I mean, I don't mind losing a game on time, but my opponent doesn't. He's wanting to play a long game with me, and the game lasts 26 moves. Okay, this guy's at least sitting there. I'm low on time there. I'm low on time on 2 games. I'm just tempted to lose them on time on purpose just to be able to make a point that they need to fix this thing so that the games pop up where you have the least time. I mean, part of it's because these guys are moving quick, but that's not all of it. That's definitely not all of it. So I'll come back and go over each game later. I'm not going to close anything out. If I end up losing more on time, I end up losing more on time. That's just the way it is. Okay, down to a minute and a half there. Okay, see, somebody's moving. Why isn't it refreshing? Refresh. I don't need to look at this game. Refresh me. Which game refreshed? I mean, this is ICC has you beat chess.com with the simuls. I mean, it should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed that this is happening. Okay, he hasn't moved. He moved. Okay, now what's he threatening? Anything I should worry about? Probably not. Let's just go stick this knight back on e5, just because I can. Okay, now... The Very Dead is still going. 40 minutes to 22. Warrior J. Oh, look, see, it's my move again. Down on time. Got to lose that one on time. I probably will lose it on time, because it won't take me back to it. Who's it against? Warrior J? Okay. I'm just going to keep it there and wait for him to move. Okay, good. He did move. Okay, now he blocked my pawn. All right, so... Warrior J. I'm going to gain some time back here. I don't care if I lose another game on time. I'm going to get my time back here. Okay, check. Let's push it back. See, he's playing blitz chess. I mean, yeah, you're going to win on time. Do you really win? Okay. Warrior J. 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Okay, thank you. Let's trade off some stuff. Okay. Now see, refresh it, please. Don't leave me in the lurch. Check. Okay, let's go back to this game. I'm going to get some time back on my clock here. Now you're going to sit there and not move when I'm waiting for you to move? Arr! There he did. Okay, now I'll go into E7. You block it with rook E8, I suppose. Now we just bring my king up the board. Did you take on E7? Yep. Well, guess what? I know how to win this ending. Now stay here. King F4. I'm going to get this game over with. King F6. Now G4. Get the outside pass pawn running. Thank you. Here comes a queen. Look, I'm getting time back on my clock. Hooray, queen. Check. Go back. I'm going to start moving this pawn. Okay. I guess he's... Anyway. Are you resigning or are you going to let it tick? Well, I need to take... Well, let's see. What other game am I really low on time? That's with... Okay, can't now wait for video. Which game was I running out of time in? Leg. Okay, this guy's sitting on the game. Okay, that's fine. He can sit on it. Okay, what do I have left here? 18 minutes? Okay, who resigned? I hope... Is it... Warrior J? Yeah, he did. Okay, Very Dead is still going. The one game I'm in time pressure on is versus this guy. So we have basically 13 moves, and it would never bring this game up. That's why I couldn't get there. And why doesn't it bring this game up? It brings up all the other games. What? I don't know. It's just funny. It doesn't bring up the games you're running out of time in. That's all. So I still don't know how many games I played. I think I had about a dozen. Part of the problem was the games that started later, it wouldn't refresh those games automatically for me. It wouldn't take me to them. So I'm going to have to get these games started later. I mean sooner rather than later. I know I still sent out some challenges that weren't taken. Can't say what happened there, but they weren't accepted. The Happy Max might have been one of them. Don't really know for sure. But I got to play a lot of games. Gave everybody a game and give them some competition. But the main idea is get you to play a competitive game where you have a 90 and 30 time control, which gives you a good 3 to 5 hour game, which is what you need for real chess to succeed, where you sit down and plan. And there I just heard a tick. Somebody moved. It's one thing about being taking a walk with the headphones on, you can still hear. Okay, that guy didn't move yet. Just peek back. I'll keep my walk going. But running out of time is no fun, because it deprives the guy of a game. I mean, this has happened last year when I was doing these. Some games it would never take me to, or I could never get to them. All of a sudden, you play 30 minutes without a move, and it idles you out, makes you lose, and you lose the game in 5 moves. Poor guy sitting there waiting for it to come up. I just hope their changes they're putting into effect next month will address this issue. I think it will be addressed at some point. I haven't had a problem before like this. There was one game where somebody played ultra fast, gained time on his clock, beat me. Turned out he was banned for cheating. Who was that? It was Mini Java. Nice guy. I don't know what his thing was, but how can you learn anything playing a quick game? Well, I guess he cheated. He was banned like 2 days later. But how can you learn anything if you're moving quick? I mean, I see it, and I've said it. I had an article. The number one reason people lose games is because they move too fast. I'm losing games here today because I'm having to move fast, because we play 10 games at 90-30, in effect playing 10 games at 9 minutes with a 3-second increment. That's what it boils down to. Now, it's a little better than that because every now and then you get all your opponents thinking, and you can have kind of scroll around and look at the games a little bit. Today I kind of didn't feel that pressure, so I'm kind of lurking on that one game with the I can't remember his name. He's been kind of sending me messages. I said, well, slow down, and now he's slowing down too much, so he'll eventually. Last time he moved, I didn't catch his move right away, and I lost a few moves, a few minutes more on my clock. I mean, I have just barely over a minute. So one way to do it is to get out of time pressure is to play some moves. But let's see, currents. What's happening with currents? It's my move. My last move was 95. I have 15 minutes left, plenty of time. Let's go menace the light squares. Bishop E4. See if that goes anywhere. Okay, we'll put the knight back on E5, blocking my Isolani. I have 44 minutes left here. How can I get my knight back into play? Knight D2 to F3. He could put his knight on D3. That's fine. I've lived with that before. Okay, knight D2. Okay, it's my move here. I got plenty of time. Down the exchange, down a pawn or two. I got to peek at this game just in case it's my move, No, it's not my move. Okay. This game, back to this one. Maybe this is just a good... I mean, I want to go over each game at the conclusion of this video. I don't see any point closing these down, and then I can't continue that, but as I'm trying to sort through it. Okay, currents. I've moved his move. I have 15 minutes left there. This one I'm in serious time pressure on. Here I have plenty of time. I mean, but I'm not quite ready to throw in the towel yet. This one's a ways off. This one's over. Now, as against this one ended. Very dead too. Oh, it's my move here. Okay, what was his last move? Knight takes E7. Oh, I traded bishops there. Okay, that's right. So, I get this knight back into play. Knight F3. He's kind of been around the barn. Okay. Currents. Is it my move? Yeah, and I have low time here. So the idea here is I'm menacing his white squares. Let's put the queen... Well, let's see. He's going to get knight F6 in to defend everything in a minute. Of course, I could take on D5 and then grab the pawn on E7. Let's put the bishop on... Let's just put the bishop on G7 because I can. Or G6. Okay. The simul video is 2 hours and 14 minutes. So, did he move yet? No, he didn't. Oh, you know what? I can pre-move on this one. He's going to take here. What do I want to do next? I'll play h4 next. Yeah, I'll just pre-move. Got to remember to do that. That might help in some of these games where I'm in time pressure. Okay, now he'll finally make a move, and I won't. And since it obviously won't bring me back to that game, and I'll end up losing on time. Okay, now we put the knight on f3. Okay. Now somebody moved. Who moved? He took my pawn. Okay, I didn't see that. Now where can I do? Double rooks. Okay, so I pitched a pawn. No big deal. You know. Okay, I moved here. Somebody moved. Who moved? He took it. Removing the guard. Ah, my bishop's loose. I'm going to lose my bishop. Outwitting myself. Let's see. Oh, this bishop's pinned. I'll just bring the bishop back. There we go. Okay. Can I finally figure out a move here? E6. Queen takes, bishop d5. I can't just lose that pawn. Yeah, let's push it. Game's about over. Okay, b5. Let's see. Time to double rook somewhere. Don't know where yet. Okay. He didn't move here yet. Now I get your bishop. Okay. So what's he threatening I should worry about? Not too much. King g2. Okay. Oh, there's a check I didn't see. Okay, fine, you get a check. Okay. I have 16 minutes left there. This guy's taking his time. Black's got... Oh, he's moving. Let's see. Counterattacking d5. Well, I can do things too. Knight g5. Followed by knight e4. His queen can take. Let's see. How about if I put the knight, transfer the knight to e3? That looks like a good square for it. Okay, just play slow positional deliberate chess here. Or can he gang up on that thing? He's going to run into a pin. Okay, knight e1. Okay, this game is over. I want to do a comment on each game. I haven't had a chance. Okay, this game is over. Still don't know how many games I played. I guess I'll find out when I get them all over. And when I can get down to just a couple of games, then I can start going through some of them ahead of time. Okay, currents is still going. Legative, that's 2. Not a GM is 3. He moved. Now we just stick this here. Now you're going to go threaten mate on h3, I suppose. I mean on h2. Put the queen on h3 and threaten a mate. There he's checking me again. And my king comes up. Okay, so now he wants to penetrate with his rook. He's threatening a mate. Is that a mate? Sure looks like a mate to me. Okay. Queen takes. And he pre-moved. Now he's threatening a rook check. Oh, g4. Oh, what a horrible bishop I have. He's going to check on g1. My king comes over. Where's he going next? Don't want to play g4. Just don't like the idea of shutting my bishop in. Although, where's it going next? That's a good question. What if I play e5? That gives him a potential target, but he can't easily attack it. e5 activates my bishop. Rook check. King h2. Yeah, I'll just play e5. He didn't play there. Okay, so let's see. Have I spent everything here yet? Grab a pawn. Let's grab a pawn. Okay. Okay, he still hasn't moved. Oh, wait. Okay, he gets one more check on f2. I have 5 pawns, so does he. I have the bishop, he has the knight. Okay, trying to find out how many games I have, and every time I try to find out, okay, I have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, all which are going. Okay, now we go back to this one. Succenna is 5, it's over. So 4 going, 2 over. Very dead. Well, it won't do it. It's just not letting me do what I want to do. Okay, somebody moved, I don't know who. Very dead did. Okay. Knight c2, knight takes. Am I going to lose that pawn on d5? Knight c2, knight takes d5. Knight e3. Unless I'm missing a tactic, I think I got it covered. Okay, put his king on f8. Now I got my bishop activated. I don't know. Just offer him a draw here. Rook c2, and where's the draw button? There it is. Try and get some of these games over with. Okay. This one's still going. It's his move. I got a pre-move set here. Currents is his move. Still don't know how many games I have going. Probably not going to find out till it's over. Okay, so essentially, his king's exposed. Mine is too, but he's running out of checks. I'll try again to find out how many games I have. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the PFC now. Same as 5, and that's over. So there's 4 going, 2 over. Very dead. 5 going, 2 over. Very dead. 5 going, 3 over. 5 going, 4 over with this one. 5 going, 5 over. I had 11 games. And 5 are still going. Okay, so now he's threatening the mate that I was worried about. And he's pinning my bishop. Okay, so let's see. Bishop takes f2, check. Does that work? Rook takes, queen takes, rook takes mate. Game over. Okay. Somebody just moved. Who was it? Him? No, he checked. He didn't want to draw. Okay, fine. I don't want to draw either. Okay, king h2, forced. So bishop takes f7, check. Rook takes. Queen c8 check. Queen c8 check. Rook back to f8. Let's just do it and see what happens. There's a mate in the end on some of these. Okay, put his rook there. Now I put my rook here. You want it? Okay. Just accept. Get it over with. Okay. I could play it out, but I'm not that way. I mean, if you miss a draw offer, it's easy to miss a draw offer. I miss them all the time. Okay, that's one less game to deal with. What's happening? He hasn't moved yet. Okay. Okay, so let's see. It's his move here. So let's try to find out well, let's see. Maybe I can actually start going through some of these games. I'm going to go ahead and try. Because I can close these windows down. No, not yet. Somebody moved. You should refresh, okay? You should refresh. Somebody moved. You should bounce the score. You bounce it up, okay? Okay, not that one. Not this one. Which game moved? Please tell me which game moved, because I have no clue which game moved. Maybe it was this one. Now, if I take the queen, I get mated. Isn't that cute? Okay, so what I have to do is check here. Queen c8, check. Game's over. Let me just put the queen down. Thanks for the game. No point in talking about it. I'll mention it when I go over. That's one less game. And I got to find out what other games I have to move in. Okay, he moved here. He didn't put me in check. He's trying to put me in check. What if I come down here and take over the 7th rank? What happens next? Okay, rook d7. 93. Okay. All right, let's try to get... I think I can get through some of these games and get some quick analysis of them. Okay. Here she started out to try to attack my king. Well, as soon as I want to do it, it won't let me. Urgh! Okay, now he's on it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I'm protecting it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. However, his queen is up in front, which means that now I'm going to play a little positional move here. Let's see, knight takes, knight takes, knight takes, bishop takes. Wait, can he take the pawn? Knight takes, knight takes, knight takes, bishop takes. His queen could take it. Well, I'll come back to this one. I'm gonna get some games cleaned up. Let's look through this, and don't anybody move, please. That'll just destroy things. Okay. Okay, so it looks like she's trying to set up an attack against my king by castling along, but the mistake I think she made was she put her queen on c8. She didn't get ready to castle. And, you know, here she's throwing, now she's lost a tempo there. f6 was good. It took some squares away from my pieces for g5. Okay, so, anyway, it went way forward all of a sudden. Let's see, I don't know how it got that far forward. f5 was a little bit of a mistake. So I kicked the bishop to take it off that diagonal, but she took, and then she pushed. But you see here I had pawn sacrifice, the idea of opening up lines. And I don't think she could have taken that pawn. And now I attack the pin piece. Now she castles, but it's too late. She gets a couple pawns for it, but oops, there's a mate threat down there, and unfortunately, that was the game, and that's one down. I think I had 11 games if I counted correctly. Let's look at another one. Well, this one ended on time. Kind of unfortunate. Let's see. Well, he moved fast. 26. Okay, let's see. 90 minus 64. He spent 25 minutes, plus he got 13 minutes back on the increment. He spent 38 minutes on 26 moves. I mean, this is too fast. Okay, and I've said this before. You will win a game against me in a simul if you do this, because I'll run out of time. But what did you really learn? What did you learn about having an intense game where you stop and you take your time? Black had a reasonable game here. I'm going through the motions here and trying. Rook d1 might have been a mistake. Maybe I should have been playing for f4. But I'm just kind of going through a little bit of maneuvering. I decided to go ahead and lock up the position and try for the kingside attack. Now just a little bit of maneuvering going on. You come back. I don't care. You got rid of my crummy light squared bishop for me. Thank you. And I've got a good position here. Getting ready to attack. And you know, you've got some play on the b file, but here comes me on the a file, or on the king side, and at this point I just ran out of time. Now, what did you take? Did you take something on a4? No, you didn't. Okay, so I've got good squares for my pieces. You have not too much guarding your queen. I mean, you're trying to come here and knight c2 and win a pawn. You know, that'll win a pawn, but you've got to watch out for the attack, and your pawn is a long way from queening. But anyways, sorry we didn't get to finish it. I think White's got long-term prospects that are decent. Let me close that one down. Okay, somebody moved. Naturally, it won't refresh. Okay, who moved? I have no clue who moved. Okay, so 2 games analyzed. Currents. He played there. Now he's trying to pin me. He's trying to pin my queen, a little rascal. Okay, so he's trying to mate me too. I can put something on e5, but then I get a fork. What do I want to do here? I'm going to think about this, but I got 13 minutes. This one I was low on time in, but it wasn't that bad. Let's see. Both kings are loose on the take here. I just completely missed the pawn hanging on f2. Both sides have attacking chances. Actually, blacks are looking okay. Even though I've got control of the e-file in the 7th rank, and I got a bishop pointed as king, he's got the correct squares covered. He's threatening to play rook h5 here. And I can blockade it, But then I give up the exchange, and do I have enough? That is the question. Okay, where's what's going on here still? Rook e5 is possible, and I give up the exchange. I will have a pawn for it. I'm a pawn up. And I'll still have an active bishop. He'll still have a loose king. My king isn't too safe either. Let's see. What to do here? I'm leaning towards putting a rook on e5. Question is which one? Probably the rook on the back row. I mean the first row. Of course, he's threatening rook h5. What if I just move my king? He can't play queen f2 check anymore. Yeah, I gotta move my king. I think that's the safe move. Maybe it's not safe. Maybe my position is loose here. Okay, I have 23 minutes left here against Very Dead. I can play f4. That's a tricky move. f4, pawn takes, queen d4 check. King g8 and take with the g pawn. I'm going to try it. Sometimes I get a little... I just want to get these games over and look at the games. I have an obligation in them later today. Okay, King James, we agreed to a draw here. There wasn't much to this game. So let's see, I've covered 2 games so far. Okay, so... oh, that's what you get. You get an equal game out of this. I got the c4 square. Here taking, and I talk about this. I said the minor pieces come off. And I think his bishop's actually a little better than mine. I just couldn't get it active. And that's an interesting pawn sack. And it pretty much leads to a drawish position. So that game's over. And let's find another one. The Great Dawn. This was a tricky one. I think based on the comments he was making in the group or in the chat window, I think he thought he was doing okay, winning or something. But I think he's... Because I looked like for a moment I was giving up losing the exchange. See, always somebody moves. Okay. Rook h5. No. How can I take advantage of that? It's protected by the knight. I got to get rid of his queen. That queen is too powerful. Which rook? Chase his queen out. Rook e3. If you take my queen, I'll take your queen. Your rook is loose. Okay, somebody moved. Okay, good. Now he finally moved there. And my pre-move came in. Okay, let's see. Do I have time to look at any more games? Getting more games. Somebody moved naturally. Right when I want to cover a game, somebody moves. Now, who moved? Was it him? Did he move again? No. Was it here? No. Who moved? Somebody moved. Okay, that... Trying to find the games that are over. That game ended in a draw. That game's over. Okay, I'm trying to find the games where somebody moved. Well, you know what? I can just go ignore these and look. As long as this guy doesn't move, I'm okay on time. I'll figure out who moved. Somebody moved. I don't know who. Maybe it's this guy. No. Currents? Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, he took my rook. Okay, so I take his. He takes my queen. I take, I'm a pawn up. Hooray. Okay. Okay, he took. Now we throw this check at him. All right. Check. Okay, now his attack's over, and I'm a pawn up. And it's protected. And I got all my pawns on the opposite color of my bishop. Okay. Let's go back here and cover a game that we're starting to cover. Okay, the Great Dawn, I think. Okay. So, it was interesting. I get an isolated pawn of his, but and I step into a discovery, but he can't do anything. And here I block the file. Oh, now it's somebody's move. Arrgh! Okay, what's he wanting to do? Put his rook on f2? Let's just pin that guy. Rook g3. Well, he plays h5. Where's my rook? Rook g3, h5, bishop g3. Yeah. Bishop g6, rather. Let's just go pin it. Okay. I gotta watch now. I'm trying to find the game I was starting to look at. It was against the Great Dawn. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So I get the blockade. I'm happy here. And here I decide to give up the bishop. That's it. Move, you know. Okay, so bishop g6. I think that works. We'll find out soon enough. Okay. Which game was I looking at? The Great Dawn. That's right. And so naturally somebody will move when I'm trying to cover it and destroy it. But I give up the bishop pair to have the two knights. And now he can't take on h3 because I have a trick. Knight takes d5. Or maybe he can't take, but now I'm just kind of like positionally setting things up. And here I think he made a comment that I made a slip, but I actually have an out resource here. He takes, I have knight takes d5. And I get my exchange back, and I'm up. Bah! It moved. Okay. Well, let's see. Okay. Knight g5. You gave me that square, I'll take it. Now it's your move again. Okay. Back to the Great Dawn. So now I'm winning a pawn. You get it back. But now your back rank's a little weak. See, this is all thematic. Threatening the mate. You have to throw a pawn in the way. And now I threaten another back rank mate. And everything comes off. Naturally, you're going to mess me up. Okay, now I play pawn takes. Okay. Great Dawn. Everything comes off, and you're left with a lost king and pawn ending. Rook takes rook, king takes rook, and white wins. So I can close that one down. I think that was the third game. Okay. Somebody moved. Okay, he took. Now I take here. Okay. And now bring this knight to f3. Wait, whatever. And if he plays f6, I bring it back to h3. Okay. Okay, yeah, I resigned this one. Let's cover it real quick. I was trying to start a kingside attack in this one and just start dropping pawns. There's the f4 theme. And nice move. Another nice move. Missed that entirely. Now things are coming off. You don't win the exchange, but you're starting to get a lot of pawns. You know, all my pawns are disappearing. And I'm just trying anything to get something going. They're just naturally somebody moves. Check. Okay, you took there. Now I'll take back with the pawn. Okay, now I got a little breathing room in that game. Which game was I looking at? Okay, king back now. Let's use my bishop to dominate your knight. Keep it out of squares. There you go. Bishop f3. Which game was I looking at? Not a GM? Yeah, I was looking at this one. This one just went south real quick. And there goes... He's on the set. Okay, well, thank you. Rook takes. Your knight is dominated. Now my king comes up. I don't have time pressure. Match... the symbol is 3 hours and 10 minutes old. And which game was I looking at? I can't do it there. Okay, rook there. Now I put my rook here. Okay, now we got to activate the king. My king just walks up to f4. Which game was I looking at? Was it this one? No? Now I'm back to this again. Arr! Okay, what do I have here? Slight anything? I have 3 minutes left on this game. Okay, let's put the queen on b3 and just try and gain some time. I don't think you can take that. Knight takes. Well, maybe you can. Let's see. Knight takes. I pin it. I have an idea here. Okay, I take. We'll come back to it. Now, did you move? Yep, b6. Okay, now... Somebody moved. This is the game I have less time in. Let's see. I'm close to some tactics here on e6, but not quite. Takes check. Knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes check. Let's do it. He's got some weaknesses. I'm going to try this. I'm just going to try it. Looks like fun. Okay, now I pin you. You put the knight back on b6. We trade, and I get the bishop to c6, and I win my pawn back, right? Is it that simple? Okay. Okay, that game ended in a draw. I'm not sure if I closed out all the ones I wanted to yet. Now I plop this. And then there, I get a pawn. Hooray! Okay. Now, where are you going? Where are you going with that knight? Where are you going with that knight? Okay, love to cover some more games. Now let's see. I can take advantage of a pin. b3 takes, bishop takes, and you take on a2 and your queen. Not good. So, you're on f4. I got to take this. I got to take that one. Okay. Now, I've got your knight dominated. Bishop b5. And when you play... Wait, let me do this right. Let me put the bishop on a8 where I know it can't. Let me put it on a dark square where I know it can't go. Okay. The choice is bishop e2, keeping you out of d1, or but letting you in by a5, or bishop b5. There's bishop b5. I'll just keep it simple. Now let's see. That game ended. I got to make sure I'm not losing on time to this guy. He didn't move yet. Okay. Oh, he didn't move. Okay, knight c1. Now I get my pawn rolling. For what it's worth, it's off and running. Okay, currents, what's going on here? Just bring my king in, right? Okay, king f2. Stop knight e2. You can take on a2, but I get a dangerous pass pawn running up the board. Okay, you took. Check. Oh, you didn't take on a2. Okay, well, king e3. Now, king e5. Okay, now king d4. Oh, I think you're losing, going into lost ending here. I get a outside pass pawn. And game over. Thank you. That was a tough game. You played very well. Very dead. Okay, how many games do... I'm running out of games, finally. Let's see. Did I send a... Okay, now my next move is going to be knight g5, right? He's in check. He checked there. Bring my king into his position. You're losing all your pawns here. What if I just start running this guy? Okay. Now I get this pawn. Now that drops my bishop to a fork, but it shouldn't matter because my pawns are so far advanced. Yeah, let him fork me. Oh, look what I got. I got a free piece. Okay. You have no pawns. You have no pawns. I have a whole bunch of them. Okay. Here they go. You took you took my pawn. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm trying to bring this knight into play. Knight g5. Okay, here goes my pawn to c6. Okay, I have 4 minutes in this game. This is the one I'm behind in time. For what it's worth, I'm threatening an annoying check. Okay. King c5 will keep you out of d6. And c7, and I queen. I might be down to just 2 games. Maybe 3. Okay. Did I cover this game? Yeah, I covered this game. I just didn't finish it. That's right. Okay, so, you know, There's a nice finish here. It won't let me. Urgh. Oh, look at that. I get my queen. There was a nice finish of that one game, and it was trying to show it. It wouldn't let me. Okay, he put his queen. He put his king there. I have 4 minutes. I can force off into a pretty simple winning ending. Real easy here with queen e6 check. Wait. Yeah, let's just do it. Check. And now I win your knight. Okay. Now I get this. Somebody resigned. Okay. I think I'm down to just this game. Wow. Where's the one I was looking at that I just didn't quite finish because it had a nice finish if I can win his queen, but he gets a mate, right? Okay. Here, now I check. No, I take here. Now he comes here threatening a mate, and I check. Now, if I play queen takes queen, he has rook takes rook mate. So there was no point in continuing. I resigned that. Now I'm getting on the 7th rank, so knight takes, and then I'll play rook check. Wow, that piece sacrifice really changed things. Normally I don't make moves like that, but I was getting a few pawns for it. I'll just double up the rooks. Maybe I can get a mate here. F4 and rook 1d6 is a mate threat. But I may actually be out of games now. This might be the only one. Amazing. Okay. This one was a tough one. Let's try to cover it. I think my opponents were all playing well. Okay, so I think this is the one where I got the d5 and f5. It doesn't move. Okay. As soon as I want to go over the game, he moves and makes me lose the game I was covering. I have 6 minutes and 28 seconds. Video is almost at 3 hours.
So, let's take a quick walk here. I think I'm down to the one game. Spending a lot of energy on this one. When I have this many games, I can't talk as much about the position. I'm more comfortable with about 5 or 6 games. But at the same time, I've got over 100 people on the waiting list that want to play, and Saturday seems to be a good time. I can hit a number of time zones, both Europe and America. They're not working, and just try to knock this list down, give everybody a chance to play me. I want to play everybody list for a while, but new people are always coming on, and if you're here when I give the simul, so far I've not refused anybody. Somebody was trying to play me later, but he wasn't even on the list yet. Don't even think he'd joined the group. And I would love to take it on more games, but I have an obligation in approximately 2 hours that I have to attend to, which is why I moved this simul back from its original start time. I'd love to sit and play chess all day. Unfortunately, I can't. I got to work, give lessons, make sure that I can give these simuls. But I think I'm down to one game, and I got to go through all the games. I don't know how many I played. I guess I won't know until I look at my history. I think it was 11. I think that's the count I had. I felt like 12 or 13. I know I lost one on time, and I think I lost two to resignation. Yeah, the one where I just went over where I down the exchange, and then one where I got carried away and ended up down the exchange in the ending there. Rook and 2 pawns versus bishop, and I got my bishop trapped. So I have 3 losses, and I think I have 2 draws. Yeah, 2 draws, and then I had to make 5 games, and I guess 5 wins. Maybe I have more than 5 wins. I don't know. I'm not sure how many games I won. It depends on how many games I had, but I have 1 left, and I'm winning, and will win that position, but just a matter of time. So I'm taking a quick walk, and I'll go back there, finish that game up, I'll do a commentary on all the rest of the games, and get it uploaded to YouTube so those that played can see what I had to say about it. Didn't get in as much detail with this many games as I normally would like to. A lot of times I kind of went by instinct and couldn't discuss things I was doing. I just kind of went by nature, and I paid the price a few times, and in some cases my opponents paid the price. Some of them maybe moved a little too quick at the wrong time. But that one game where I had the pawn on d5, he ended up playing for it and winning it, but I found some tricks to get the pawn back. Bishop versus knight, where white has excellent winning chances, and he played it kind of quickly. I think he was playing slow up until that time. He played it kind of quickly, but I think the long-run prospects white probably wins that, simply because the bishop is a piece that covers both sides of the board easily. It follows the game Stoltz Cashdan, The Hague, 1928. It can be found online if you look for it. If you go to ICC, it's in my... If you belong to ICC, it's in my RATS library over there. I think it's like number 158 or 159. And it's probably been posted at... I did post it at chess.com. Somebody wrote a tribute to Isaac Cashdan. Some of his games, he was a title player, I can't remember which one, wrote an article or a blog about it. And I included the game in there because it's that ending is in just about every reasonable ending anthology there is. It's in Fine's Basic Chess Endings, it's in Averbach's Bishop versus Knight Endings, it's in Sherezhevsky's marvelous book on the ending, and probably a few other places. Okay, so now I'm running out of time again. Meanwhile, back to the ranch. He doesn't control any files. I'll just go get the 7th rank and dominated. Oh, I just dropped my pawn on e4. Oh well. I'm on the pawn on h5. I often miss one movers like I did here. I didn't even see he was attacking the pawn. I'm just focused on trying to put my rooks on the 7th rank. Okay, so he gets it. Big deal. Maybe I can get a mate here. Rook e6 check, or d6 check, king f5. I'll start with that. If he plays rook e6, he drops a rook to rook h6 check. King f5, rook f7 check. King g4, rook g6 mate. If anyone's still watching, I'll post this. I think I have mate in 1 now. Hey, I did find a mate. There it is, mate. White 1. Okay. Do I have any games left? I don't know if I have any games left. I'm going to find out. Okay. This was a wild one. Let's look at this one and get it covered. This is where they tried for the attack on the king side, but he was doing it without being developed. And there were some crazy tactics in this game. Okay, b5. Now comes this, and I'm going to walk into a fork, and I found some interesting moves here. Deflected his queen from protecting his knight on c6. So if queen takes, I can play queen takes c3, and the fork bishop b4 doesn't work because queen takes c6. But now I can do it, and I have a trick. I can attack his knight on g8 because his rook is no longer protecting it. He grabs, and he gets his pawn down to the 7th. Here comes his knight, and I have another trick. Knight takes e5, and he can't take it because of mate. Now I get the queens off, and I'm going to win that pawn. I'm a pawn up, and I should have a winning position. But I managed to bungle it. I remember when I dropped the exchange, I was looking to see make sure I didn't drop the exchange when that happened, and not sure if I mentioned it at the time, but then I saw, oops, didn't miss that check. So I'm going to win the pawn on a2, a7, I think. You know, I had to cover the knight check. There, I win that, and he gets that running. Yeah, here's where I just completely overlooked it. I said, well, knight e1 check, I take it. I forgot about the check on f4. Or if I looked at it, I just said, oh, I just take the knight. Forgot I was taking my rook, and then I just end up bungling it from here on in. There's some drawing chances uh, if you're careful, but I just pitched my pawn. You know, I just completely miss rook check. Whoops. And I go get my bishop trapped. I know there's some endings. I mentioned there's some endings where black can have a rook and pawn against a bishop, and you'd think it'd be a win, but you don't win it. But I was a long way off from getting that. And now he cuts off my bishop's retreat, and I lose it. So that game's over. That was who against succenna. There, we'll close that one. Okay, next game. Very dead. Let's take this one back to the beginning. Okay, so go through with the opening. I think all the games are over. I'm just playing the routine moves. I think I actually, no, I didn't cover this one. I was starting to. Yeah, I get the patented knights in on f5 and d5. And, you know, I was looking at maybe menacing f7, but I just didn't see it. And my experience is, yeah, if white gets that passed pawn, he's okay. He starts playing for it. And I just start remaneuvering my knight. And I was thinking about doubling rooks there. And I just go get it to e3 to reinforce. And it looks like maybe he's going to finally surround it. But I find a trick here. The idea is here, check. And now he gets the pawn, but he's going to walk into a fork in the end of all this. And here comes the fork. And like I was saying just a moment ago, I think that this is winning now for white. Although f4 is weak, he should probably maybe play king. He got to get his king into play, but you know he's going to lose c4 too, and he can't really afford to go down 3 pawns to none. So I'm kind of thinking this is winning. Now knight d1, I got to push. Now bring my king up, and that was a losing move, but I think the position is lost for black. That pawn is getting too strong and his king is out of play. And just a matter of getting my pawns rolling. They're moving quicker than his, and they're stopped, and that game is over. Okay, next game was against Warrior J, and yeah, I got time pressure here. There's the answer. 79 minutes for the game. Okay, you know, the video will show. I'm not mentioning them all, but the video will show whether my opponents took their time. And you know, here he just started making weaknesses, and I got sloppy in this one. You know, I got very sloppy here. I just got rid of that. No, it's not this one I got sloppy in. But he just didn't ever have any effective counterplay. I'd give him back. No, he didn't get back the pawn. Check. Yeah, this is a little different game. I cover that. And now it's just a matter of and that loses. But there's really no other defense for him. His rook is forever tied down, and my king will just he'll get zugzwang. He'll probably lose his pawn on h4 eventually, and then the pawns are just overwhelming. So that game ends. He can't stop the pawns there. But here's the problem: 79 minutes and 23 seconds. You got 26 minutes back on an increment, and you spent 11 minutes on the game. An additional 11. You spent 37 minutes on 52 moves. That's over a minute a move, or under a minute a move. You have nearly 3 minutes a move. So that's why you lost, okay? You get this long time control so you can play it out. Now this went in a draw. Funny, doing this thing with the pawn structure, I got in trouble the game I lost the other day. I get the pawn structure h3, h2, g3, f3, e4. And I used that against the bishop back on h7, and I got in trouble in the other game, and I thought I could get away with it here, and he found some remedies. He's gonna, but I gotta be careful here. And here comes the knight. And now, if knight f2 check, I can actually get away with queen takes f2. Because, oh no, wait, I can't get away with queen takes f2. Yeah, I can. Knight f2 check, queen takes f2. And if he plays bishop takes f2, I play rook takes e8 check and then save my rook, and I have a rook and two rooks and a knight against a queen. We each have an opposite color bishop. So just take the pressure off. Now he gets the check, and I get away. And I've had knights go in there before. I can deal with those. And we go into opposite color bishops. He gets a good queen. But I think I wanted to play g4, but just horrible. This activates my bishop. And he can't really do much. I can play rook e2, and maybe I can play for a win here. Rook e2. Let's see, rook e2. Play rook b1. I think if he takes, he might, if he wins the e pawn and I win the c pawn. My 3-on-1 are supposed to move faster than the 4-on-2, but with the bishop of opposite colors, I think it can be blockaded. So I think a draw is a fair result. Okay, but what could I could have played it on, but it was okay. I mean, I don't mind. Give the guy the draw and get the exhibition over. And this one I covered. I just didn't close it because if clearly queen takes queen, rook takes rook is mate. Maybe I could just let him have the mate, but it's respectable to resign and understand that I saw that he had that set up. And clever play on his part. This one, he was kind. He was warning me I was running out of time. I suggested he slow down, and he was moving too fast too. And again, something is not right with the chess.com interface. It is not taking you to games where you're low on time, and these people are moving, but it's never bringing me to those games, and I can't say why. I wasn't always on the move somewhere else, was I? Maybe I was. Maybe that's why it just wouldn't take me to those games. But at ICC, they have it set up. The Sim will give her, if it will always take him to the game he has the least amount of time in. And that's what chess.com needs. And you can do as good as ICC. Come on, chess.com. I know you can do it. Okay, so, and I really wasn't planning a sack on e6 at this point. I was just trying to pressure b7, if anything, And I said, oh, look, there's a sack. And I get 3 pawns for it, because if he puts I think it's dangerous for him to put his king on h7, because I get knight g5 check, and his king gets up to h6. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he can, but now that I get knight check, I get a draw, but does he want a draw? Maybe. I don't know, it's interesting. But now I got the 3rd pawn for the piece, and he's just hung a piece. So what else does he have, though? I'm going to win this pawn. I have 4 pawns for the piece, and they're all passed. So this one's turning into my favor quickly. And now I just simplify into an ending. And now I end up, didn't even see that pawn was protected, but I end up having a mate here. He has 2 moves. Rook e6 loses his rook to rook h6 check, so he comes up, and now he steps into a checkmate. Boom, there it is. So game over with him, and one more game. Okay, why isn't it loading? There it is. This one was kind of a tough game. Got in time pressure on this one again, too. Here, look, 62 minutes. There's part of the problem. Your guys are moving too fast. Okay, you had time, and here, I think I got the better of that. This one got very messy. But it comes from when you give a simul. These things just don't quite work out. He's got weak squares. I'm attacking him. There's a free pawn.
But I end up dropping that pawn on e6. I just completely oblivious to what's going on. You see, right now it's not guarded, and I'm trying to attack him on the light squares, but then I discovered later his knight go back to f6 and cover h7. So he attacks the pawn. I don't see it. I'm just going to go threaten bishop f7 check. Whoops, there goes the pawn. Now I'm close to losing a piece here. You're undermining the defender but of g6, but it's pinned. But he finds a clever move. Now if queen takes f6, he takes back with the bishop, and he's a piece up. So I get the piece, but I guess I should have taken with the pawn here. Pawn takes, because I don't give up f2. I got very messy. Whoops, oh well, check. Now he's running out of checks. Now he's trying to beat me, so I got to get my king out of there. And I have to chase his queen out, but I think this helped me, because now I'm just a clear pawn up, and I stepped into a pin, and there goes another pawn. And now I used the bishop to dominate the knight so that it can't advance forward without being traded. And this helps me because I get the rooks off, and I've got all the entry points covered. And my king is getting to e5. He can't stop me. He can get up to g6 if he wants, but he can't go any further because I'll cover f5 with my king. And now he gets rid of some of my pawns, but and I gave up the piece because I knew that my 3 pawns on the queen side are too much for his knight, and he has to stop and waste time to collect the pawn on h4 with his king, and I'm going to gain a lot of ground in that time, and now the pawns are forcing their way through, and he can't stop them. He comes up just short, and I'm winning that piece, and queen up in the game. So it was fun playing everybody. I want to thank you. I'll schedule another simul as soon as I can. I have to look at my schedule next week. I'll try to give another 2 next week. If I can give 3, I certainly will. More of my time is opening up. I'll be able to offer some other times, starting times different than what I've been doing. Most of them been Thursday at 10 p.m. Pacific. This one was on a Saturday at noon Pacific, which gives both Europe and America a chance to fit in. But I'll get you guys soon, and thank you so much for your time. Take care.